Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to show you how you can host a static website on AWS S3 and Amplify. In just few simple steps, you can host your website. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced developer, this tutorial is for you. Let's jump in and see how exactly you can do that. To go further, what I have done as part of today's tutorial, I'm going to generate a sample HTML about myself using ChatGPT, and then I'm going to store that into a file, and I'll use that file to host on AWS S3 and Amplify. Let me show you how we can do that. Well, I came into ChatGPT and I asked, give me a sample HTML about me which I can host on AWS S3, and it has generated me a sample HTML. I'm going to paste this code in the description for your use as well if you want to use it. And let us see how we can utilize this HTML piece and how we can host this on AWS S3. To start with, I will first take this, copy this code and store it on my local desktop. To do that, let me open my editor. You can use anything, Notepad or any desired choice editor. I have Sublime, I'm going to use that. So I copied that HTML code, pasted it on my editor. You could use anything, like I said, Notepad, WordPad, anything, but just save it as index.html. Save it as index.html. Once you save it, you should be able to see that file on your desktop application, wherever you are storing it. I have saved it in my cloud directory as index.html. Now we have all the necessary files. Let's jump into the AWS console. Once you have saved that, just double click and open this file or open it with Google Chrome to see if the file is loading properly and the HTML is getting generated. So I just did that and I see that my HTML is getting generated. So if you see, when I click on that, I'm able to see the HTML which we had saved in our desktop learning cloud directory. If you see, that is getting sourced from here. This is what it is telling. It's saying hello Abdul, and just a static HTML page. Now how can I host this on AWS? Let us jump and understand how exactly we can do that. We have the files necessary. All we have to do is host this particular website which is there on your local on AWS and see how you can leverage AWS to do that. Let's jump further now. Well, to do that, first we need to access the AWS management console. Let me say AWS console, and you should be getting this first link. Click on this link and this should give you, most of you might not have an account. Create a free account and also understand what is that this free tier gives you. To do that, you can click on this create free account and you should be able to create a free account with AWS, and you can utilize that to leverage all the free features which are there as part of your free account. Click on this learn more about AWS free tier, and there are many videos here. You can see that. For my use case, all I want to do is, I already have an account with them, so I'll click on sign into the console. If you see on the free tier, you see that there is a 5 GB free standard storage which you can utilize. In free tier, there is EC2 with 750 hours. All this is there. Don't worry about that. Most of this which we are trying to do is free, right? Let me click on sign into the console. Once you create an account, you will also have access to the console and you will see something like this, where a region will be associated to your account. If you see, that's what I'm highlighting here. Right now I am associated with Ohio region. You will be brought in here. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to create a S3 bucket, a bucket to hold these files. You can do that by going to S3. click on this thing and then you can look for the services, or what I do is usually click on this search and type S3 and it will give you the options here. The first green bucket, this is nothing but the S3 service. Click on this S3. Now you are coming into the S3 service. Here you can create a bucket. How can you create a bucket? If you see here the option, the orange button which tells create bucket, click create bucket, and I have to just give a sample name. You can leave everything as default. I'll call it my static website, and I'll give today's date 1/1-2025. Okay, some unique name. It should be unique so that it lets you store. Everything else is default. Don't have to worry about anything else right now. We're just trying to create a bucket here. Just say create bucket. This should give you one bucket. If you see here, we were successful in creating a bucket here. Let us open this bucket. Click on this and you should be able to open the bucket. Now you have option here to upload files. Right now we do have an index.html which we want to upload here. Let us click on upload and let us choose the file. Click on add files. And right now I am looking at the index.html file which I have created. Let me open that and let me click on upload. So now you were successful in uploading the index.html file within this S3 bucket. So we are good here. Once you're done with this, click on properties and scroll down. You were in the objects. All you did is click on properties from this panel, come down, and if you see static web hosting is an option here. You can click on edit and say you'll be brought here where it tells edit static web hosting, and then it is disabled. You can enable it, or right now they say this is kind of old school method, and let me cancel this. I'm not changing that. I'm keeping it disabled. I would rather want to use something called as Amplify. If you see here on the same properties tab, if you scroll down under static web hosting, there is we recommend using AWS Amplify for hosting static websites. So any website you can host using Amplify. Click on create Amplify app from that panel and you should be brought here. Here you will be able to see that Amplify is able to help you deploy or generate that particular deploy that website. So right now we want to deploy the index.html file. So where is my index.html file? It should be inside this particular bucket. So let's browse, choose prefix. So this is where your file is, right? This is the S3 bucket which we created, my static website, and with the name. This is where it is. So to deploy this onto AWS S3 cloud, all I have to do is save and deploy. Now what's happening, the website is getting deployed onto this particular cloud. So if you see, this is my domain which got created for that particular website which I wanted to host. It tells it is deployed. Let me click on this link and see if it is working. Wow, within minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes, you were able to deploy your website. Once you have the HTML for your website, you can deploy that, and now it is successfully running on AWS, right? Let us say I want to do some changes to this website. How can I do that? Let's see that. Currently, it is just showing my first name. Let us say I want to add some changes, just to show you how you can add any changes to your existing website. Let us say I want to do some changes in the HTML code. Let me go back to my HTML file, and here about me it tells just my first name. Let me say okay. I'm adding some small change. You can add any change of your desire, and let us say I just changed my name. So now let me save this. I did this change and Control S. I have saved it. All you have to do is go back to your S3 bucket, right? Go back to your S3 bucket and upload the file again. All it does is it replaces that existing file. I have saved my change. See, today 9:25 it got created and perfect. Let me save this and say upload. I uploaded it back. Now before I deploy it, let us verify what is that it is showing. It is still showing I am Abdul. So let's come back to the Amplify app, click on overview or app, this thing, and deployment status is this. Let us say we want to redeploy this. All you have to do is you uploaded it again. So once you have uploaded the changes in the S3 bucket on Amplify, just click on deploy updates and choose AWS S3 because that is where your browse your S3 file, right? Choose and then say save and deploy. Now this is deploying the latest changes which we did as part of our change where we added the name. Now let's verify the change. Let me click on this deployment. Well, I see the change has been deployed. This is how you can deploy any static website onto AWS, especially using Amplify. If you don't want to use AWS S3, you can just jump directly into Amplify, create a new app, and you can associate your GitHub, Bitbucket, or anywhere the file is present. You can choose deploy without Git, and you can, choose your corresponding S3 bucket or a zip file, whatever file you want to host, you can do that. This is that simple in terms of deploying your website into AWS. With that said, let's try to delete what we have created just in case to avoid any costs which we can incur. To do that, let me go back to all apps and then click on this app and I can delete this. Click on app settings, general settings and click on delete app. This deletes the app. Just type the word delete here and delete this app. And go back to your S3 bucket and delete the file which you have added here. Select that under your bucket, delete it, and you should say delete. So delete and delete the object. So this got deleted. You can't delete a bucket without deleting the content from that. That is why I deleted the object first. Now I can delete this bucket as well. So this is how successfully we were able to, create a bucket and host a static website onto AWS. If this was helpful, drop me a like and share this content with people or friends who are interested in learning AWS. This is a beginner series I have started for anyone who wants to get his hands dirty with AWS. I'm going to bring more such content. If you have liked this video, drop me comments about what is that you want to learn in terms of AWS, and I'll be building a short video like this which will help you learn AWS in a much simpler and a faster way. Thank you for watching and subscribe to my channel.